Thank you to everyone who voted in the poll and engaged in discussion around Bronze Man in the lead up today. Here's what we're thinking. There were lots of different conversations about Bronze Man flying around, some of which we felt are addressable. But ultimately, even with the majority of players voting yes, the poll fell short of the 70%. It is no secret that we're able to see poll results before they become public. By knowing the poll would end with the majority but not supermajority, we've been discussing what happens next and preparing. When a poll fails, we feel it's important to do our due diligence to fully understand why. To help us with that, we prepared an in-game survey, which will be available today to allow us to capture additional thoughts and feelings towards the mode and how we polled it. We understand many of you are looking forward to Bronze Man may be upset, and we ask that during this time we focus on what really matters, which is where did we go wrong and what needs to change in the future. We also appreciate many of you will look at today's results and question why we're even bothering. To that, we'd like to remind everyone that Old School is built on the foundation of working closely with the community and understanding how you feel plays an important part in allowing us to improve. Once we feel confident in what, if anything, should happen next, we'll be back with an update for you all to discuss it further. Moving forward, we are hoping to include an optional question in future polls where you can let us know why you voted to a particular question. This information is now much easier for us to process with the improved polling system we have, and we hope the information will get it from the sorry. I don't know what song is playing right now to stop that. And we hope the information we get from it will help shape the future of polls and better reflect your feelings towards them. For now, please help us by filling out the in-game survey and look forward to more news once we're ready. I don't know. I don't feel like filling out a survey, though, or whatever. It is what it is, guys. The community voted no. Well, the majority voted yes, but that doesn't matter in RuneScape. It's 70% or nothing. So, if you were a naysayer, why did you vote no? We're going to have a little discussion about this. I want to say the majority of people are going to say that they just didn't feel like this mode needed to be a mode. Like, they just didn't feel like it was maybe different enough or what? Like, what? Not unique enough for its own. I voted no. Poll is really good, though. Willing to bet 90% of no votes are Iron Men who are too far along to make a Bronze Man. I feel like the mode is very, very good for streamers and content creators, but maybe not as much for the average player. I actually feel like, Virtus, this mode was better for an average player who doesn't have enough time to like progress in Iron Man because they don't have enough time to do all of like the skilling that it takes to get to the prestigious combat stuff in the game. I guess you could also, I mean, the argument every time I say that is like, a lot of people say, well, just play a main then. And I do actually agree to that at some point, but that's kind of why I want the mode, is because it just locks you in. It's playing a main that has to, it's forcing a main to play all of the content in the game instead of giving a main an option of GP per hour. Like, it's a main where GP does not really help you very much. It's a main where GP is nerfed. And it makes you play all of the content, I guess. And so that's my ultimate version of the game, is a main that has to play all of the content, because you get to play the entire game as a main. But when the option of GP per hour is on the table, it takes away from the main experience. So Bronze Man basically gives you that somewhere in the middle. This is why I really liked it. They made a half-assed proposition. First and foremost, I would not call it Bronze Man. I think that Bronze Man has a negative stigma attached to it. And I would pitch it more as a honorable main and give it a different name. That's how I would have pitched it to the community. But Bronzeman, the term Bronzeman has negative ramifications from its past attached to it. And it felt a bit doomed from the start already. I think, people aren't going to vote yes to honorable main. That's Iron Brain. No, I don't think they would. But if it was pitched more like that, it could have been better. If it was pitched like that, it wouldn't have. I don't know if it would have made a difference, to be honest. But I do think that we're flying like too close to trying to make Iron Man sound, or trying to make Bronze Man sound like an Iron Man when it's really a main. It's really more closer to a main. I would have voted yes if items unlock were different. Like, what do you mean there, Ketamine? Item unlocks were different. How it is right now is all the items unlock when they go into your inventory. Nine Rain already named it. It's Iron Man, and Iron Main. I like that name, but do you think the community would like that name? Or does it sound too close to Iron Man? We don't need a new game mode that will basically be dead on arrival. People will make those accounts and then they will give up on them unless they're a content creator. Okay. Take a look at the poll, and I feel like a lot of this conversation would make more sense. Take a look at the poll. Bordernate, in the game? Where do I look at the poll? In the game? Okay. Let's go in the game. Okay. Bronzeman opinion survey. This opinion survey follows the recent Bronzeman, a rough situation, and Crab Quest poll. We'd like to use this opportunity to understand the reasons behind your votes, which will help inform any next steps we might want to take and provide vital information to help shape the future of polls. How did you vote on the recent Bronzeman poll question? I voted yes. Which of these did you believe about the unbound version of Bronzeman? It was not part of the poll. What were the main reasons for your yes vote? I want more flexibility than Iron Man offers without going as far as a main. It's a fun way to start a fresh account or an alt. Oh, select up to 2. An official mode would be better than the existing plugin. It would encourage my friends to play. Ooh. I want to choose 3 options. What the heck? How much did each of the following contribute to your no vote? Oh. What were the main reasons for your no vote? If you selected something else for the previous question, let us know which parts. Okay. These are all no's. Redesigning Bronzeman. Which of these is closer to your view of what Bronzeman should be? A mode focused on being accessible and flexible for the people playing it. A mode focused on strict integrity, even at the cost of some accessibility or convenience. I mean, both, but I'm not really sure. That's a very which of these should playing a Bronzeman feel closer to? Playing a main. You know what? Screw it. It should be more accessible and flexible. It should be just playing a main who's locked. It should be literally a main that's locked to the clog. That's it. How should Bronzeman item unlocks work? Items are only unlocked by meeting the same requirements needed to create them. See, I like this better. I actually like this better than like finding ways to cheese like grubby chests early on in the game. I think once you craft your own Sarah brew one time, then you unlock it. But that might be harder to code. So I guess that's why this is where like Bronzeman gets a little bit harder to code. How should multi-part items work for Bronzeman? Oathplate. So this was the big one. I actually brought this up to Mod Elena when she was in the stream. And I don't think you should be able to use Oathplate shards. I don't think you should be able to buy Oathplate shards. I think you should have to craft your own one Unlocking the base part should allow you to buy the remaining parts. Each base part must be earned before you can buy that base part. You still need to do the full grind before you can use the GE for it. This was the toughest question about Bronzeman that I like the ability to skip skilling and consumables, some skilling and consumables, but not the idea of skipping the grinds. This is why Bronzeman doesn't work. There's a million, oh, this should work, but it shouldn't. There's really like 2 of those. I think there's like 2 of those things. And it's because it's in the middle of iron and main, there's going to be some gray areas. I voted no, or I voted now, but I just wanted to say thanks. Your conversation in chat has been way more nuanced than any other streamers I watched today. I voted no. How should trading on the Grand Exchange work for Bronzeman? Freely trade any item that they've unlocked. Exactly the same as a main. No, like this was not it. They should be able to buy it with the GP they earn. Okay. That's literally a main. What are we talking about? Okay, how should bonds work? How should bonds work for Bronzeman? Like a main. It's literally like a main. Having gold on a Bronzeman is not an issue. If people want to buy gold, it's fine. How should player-to-player trading work for Bronzeman? At least read through the other options. I read it. Bronzeman should be able to use bonds for membership, but not sell them. This means can Bronzeman buy gold, basically. Why would they need to? This is why it doesn't matter. Bronzeman are gonna have enough money. Like, the thing is, like, what are they going to buy with their gold? What are they gonna buy? More Cerebrews? Like, what are they going to buy? 99 Herblore? You don't need to be able to trade mains for items you already have. You read it wrong. Bronzeman should be able to use bonds for membership and sell bonds on the Grand Exchange for coins. Full oath plate from 1 shard? I voted no to that. I voted that Bronzeman has to farm all their items and all 6 armor shards and all 5 Venator shards. Like, literally like how Iron Man works for gear before it's unlocked for trading. They can almost buy every skill to 99. They're gonna, dude, you're going to have money. So you're saying, okay, okay. So you guys think that this option is better so that they can't have money right off the start. The reason I think that this is a better option is because at the very end of the game, you should be a main. And then this is now one thing that the mains will be able to do that you won't. But I understand the argument for this one. So with this one, they could sell. You could still. Oh, wait a second. You could still buy membership with your gold with this one. I see. Okay, that's what I wanted them to be able to do. But I didn't really think that, I just didn't really think that buying or having gold off the start was a big deal. Because you can't, only thing you could do is buy stuff to bank stand your skills. But the Bronzeman mode, they're going to do that anyway. I didn't really think this was a big deal. This question is basically, should Bronzeman be able to buy gold? Yeah, that's what it is. And to me, the way I see it is like, it doesn't matter. A Bronzeman having gold doesn't matter. If every single item is locked, the idea is that Bronzeman should have a lot more money than an Iron Man because they're able to sell dupes. And then they should use that money to skip the skilling grinds or to accelerate the skilling grinds. You can't skip anything. Is this a Sardaco opinion or a chat opinion survey? It's my opinion. I am giving my opinion here. I really don't think it matters that Bronzeman have gold. And I think that people are like trying to make Bronzeman almost... All right, you know what? I want Bronze Man to be a main, but I do want them to be an honorable main, I guess. So this is a tough one. This is actually a tough one. I want them to be an honorable main. I guess this is why people were really conflicted on the Bronze Man mode, was because of probably, I didn't realize this question was going to be that big of a deal. I didn't think it was that big of a deal that Bronze Man had gold. But you guys are really trying to make Bronze Man not skip the skilling grinds and stuff, huh? If there's no high scores, it doesn't matter if they have gold. I'm going to leave it there for now. But here's the thing, too, with the trading, bro. This is why I'm saying, like, this is why I'm saying Bronze Man should be able to buy bonds, because they should be able to trade. If you can trade, then that means your main would just trade gold to your Iron Man right off the rip anyways. I don't think restricting trade is a good idea either. Like, restricting trade is bad because then you can't do splits. And the point of a Bronze Man is to be able to play the entire game, and you can't play the game if you can't trade. You can't play the whole game if you can't trade. Bronze Man should be able to trade freely. The point of it, guys, the whole point of a Bronze Man is it should be a main that can't buy gear. That's my take. Everything else doesn't matter. How should splitting raids rewards work for Bronze Man? Bronze Man should be able to split raid rewards with others they raided with, even if it opens opportunities for abuse. Bronze Man should not be able to trade raid rewards with other players. What could you abuse here? What could you abuse? If their teammate gets it, no. Someone gets a T-bow and you haven't unlocked it. What? No. Bronze Man should not be able to trade raid rewards with other players. What the hell is that? No. How should PvP work? No. You wait. You can PvP, but you can't equip the gear. This is Unbound Bronze mode. There should be an unranked version of Bronze Man with no high scores. Who cares about that? That's Oda block mode. Bronze Man should not have PvP based progression. Okay, there we go. How important are each of the following in determining your support for Bronze Man? How multi-part items are unlocked. How how raid splits work. How bonds work. All of it, I guess. They really want this to pass to raise membership? Oh, it's definitely going to bring more people to play the game. It's definitely going to be a profit for the company. If they announce Bronze Man, it will bring some hype back for new players to come and try the game for sure. Which two of these are most important when determining your support for Bronze Man? What are the most important? The most important things is how the item unlocks work. And I guess the grand exchange. Just like how you're able to sell only your dupes. And you're not able to buy anything. You're not able to buy any gear. But I would like to see player-to-player trading work as well. Think about the different ways Bronze Man could be designed. Which is the closest to your view? There is a version of Bronze Man I would be interested in support. Is there anything else you wish to tell us about your thoughts? Nah. Nah. You must answer this question. Oh. Boom. I view Bronze Man as an ethical main. Would love to see it pitched as such. Okay. Submit. What does ethical main mean? It's tough. It's tough when you have a game design that's kind of like in the middle or on the line. A lot of people want it and a lot of people don't. It's It's a bit of a gray area, and I mean everybody's opinion is valid, but at the end of the day, if you are not able to come up with a unanimous support and vision for something in a community, then it's best left out of the game. And that's RuneScape's principles that they've lived by and they've designed the game by. And to not live by that principle would be detrimental to the game as a whole. And people right now are split on Bronze Man, and so it shouldn't belong in the game, and that's what it is. It is what it is. Sard calling mains unethical? I'm not calling the majority of mains unethical, but I'm pointing out some of the ones that are. And I love game modes that almost force you to play ethically, because in a world of min-maxing, you're gonna do the thing that benefits you the most, right? And so if you're playing a main, the best thing you can do is you could buy bonds and then buy gear, because that's the fastest way to get it, right? Iron Man prevents you from doing that, which is why I love Iron Man. There's still Iron Man who buy their capes, though. There's nothing you can ever do to prevent somebody from account sharing. If there was something you could do about that, I would recommend that they do that. But there isn't a way to beat that particular boss. That boss is has God mode enabled. You can play a Bronze Man and still be unethical. So I don't get the point of any official mode if ethical is the primary reason. I'm not really sure how you would... There's no way to cheat your drops on a Bronze Man. So there isn't too much of a way to play unethically. You have to just earn all of your gear. It's literally get the drop yourself man mode. That's it. Nothing else matters. And I think that Oathplate Shard should not be buyable on the Grand Exchange. Call it Clog Man mode. And you could play a main that way. So like that's not a good argument, because you could play an Iron Man that way too. You could play a UIM that way. Like with that argument, we should delete every mode, right? Congrats on winning your first Golden Gnome. Okay, they have not announced those yet, but thank you very much. I'm just honored to be nominated. Guys, why don't we all just go back to playing mains and play exactly how we want, and you can decide to choose exactly how you want to play. And we get rid of helmets, we get rid of name calling, we get rid of official modes. It gives Jagex all the time back to the developers so they can design new content that's designed for mains. And we're all playing the same mode. And if you want to play Iron Man, you could use a plugin. How about that? That's literally what half the people's argument for Bronze Man is. So why don't we just take that same argument and apply it to the entire game? If they pulled to remove Iron Man and revert all Iron Man to main, it would probably unironically almost pass. I don't think that's true. Iron Man actually passed the Pulsard. We live in a society, people are people and are going to try to separate things into class. Iron Men aren't more than 20% of the game. The main argument is that it's too late to change Iron Man and UIM. That's the problem. If Bronze Man passes, it will be too late to fix the issues. %80 of irons are insufferable and stuck in the mid game for 4 years. Just add a shop for Sarah Brews and Prayer Pots and call it a Bronze Man shop. Remove the GE aspect and call it a day. I voted yes, but I honestly just don't know how many people would quit an Iron Man or a main, and they truly wouldn't quit but they truly wouldn't quit a Bronze Man. How long would they really last? I do think that there's some truth that some people just don't enjoy a main. Like Palomore has a max main. He didn't enjoy it, but he really loves Iron Man. And so he realized that like Iron Man was definitely for him. But then there's some people like Czar who've tried Iron Man. They're like, yo, this is too much. I don't have time to play this. but I really want to do some of like the hard combat stuff in the game. And so like somebody like Zarya Bronzeman would be more for him. And then, or he would have to play an ethical main and just self-restrict, which the community was, I'm not trying to say like there were some people that were pretty toxic about that. When I pitched that idea for myself, people were like, yo, if you don't play Iron Man, I'm just not going to watch you. And so there is a lot of power in the Iron Man helmet next to your name. People want to watch Iron Man because it means it represents like integrity, I guess, in the game. Like you did everything yourself. So having that representation is everything. Playing a main and self-restricting, it's like most people don't care about that from what I've seen. So that's why having that helmet of Bronzeman is very important. Otherwise, like most people will never play that mode. Yo, Basconaut, thank you for the prime. Matt G, thank you for the prime. Did I miss a sub earlier? Corsi, thank you for the 1 year. I appreciate that subs, boys. Legends. Isn't Biskier and WoW untradeable? Yeah. It was actually kind of a culture shock for me to... we got to start raids. It's kind of a culture shock for me to come over and play RuneScape and realize all the gear in the game was tradable. That to me was like, what? You can just buy full biz? And it's like, dude, this ruins the game. And I was like, oh, but there's an Iron Man mode. Let's play that mode. You know what I mean? And so that's the mode I ended up playing, and I've actually loved it. I've actually loved every second of Iron Man, with the exception of a lot of hours of skilling that I've gotten through. But now that my account is kind of to this point, I've hit the golden days of Iron Man, which is just basic account maintenance. Like I got to do an herb run every now and then, but I don't mind doing that.